Alright guys, TacticalRab back again, so I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Major drama going down in the Challengers Elite last night with Temp's new roster up against his old team. Massive drama going down in Game 5, Round 11. A glitch happens, 2 goes on to die. The replay then eventually occurs. Not the replay though that certain players wanted. The result itself was an absolute mind-blowing one because it goes Game 5, Round 11 again. Loads of drama after the fact. Shotzzy's reacting to this one to try and figure out exactly what happens earlier on in the series. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate this. By the way, is Crim. Guess where I'm going? Now, I don't think he said it on the Instagram how long his travel day was, but I think, or on Twitter. On Insta, I think he said that it was like a 21-hour travel day. So he's obviously going quite a long way. I'm thinking he might be going to Saudi Arabia, to be fair, for the Jeddah Grand Prix this weekend. I guess we'll see if that turns out to be true. I do think it was kind of funny, though, right? Because he was flying, obviously, in business or first or whatever. This is on the Emirates airline, so I don't really know. It looks spectacular, obviously. You guys might remember when Crim tweeted this out for the World Series of Warzone last year. Now, to be fair, Crim, I don't imagine is travelling for his own event, but Crim was clowning on players for flying first class to the World Series of Warzone last year, right? So I just thought it was kind of funny to mention. Also wanted to mention, though, some really interesting analysis here from a COD League stat. So I mentioned the other day on the Temp episodes that when you watch Awakening play and the Minnesota Rocker, it doesn't really feel to me like it matters whether it goes positive or negative. Their chances to win the game are the same. Now, obviously, that's not true. You get more kills, you're going to be more likely to win. There's always going to be some degree of positive correlation there, obviously. But, well, basically, COD League stats looked into, okay, what is the correlation? Is there actually, what does it look like? Right, so this is a graph of, on the y-axis we have the KD, on the x-axis we have the win differential in hardpoint. So you would expect that as the win differential goes from minus 100, i.e. losing by 100 points, to winning by 100 points, the KD is going to get higher, which it does. And we can see that over this, graph right here, we have a general, very, very weak positive correlation. Now, if you remove some of the outliers, you'll get something that looks more like this, which is a more significant and stronger positive correlation. It's still not anything particularly strong, the R-squared 0.36, but this is kind of what it looks like for Wake. Now, you'll notice that lots of these dots are below the 1-0 KD line, which of course is indicative of how he's played so far this season. But yeah, when he gets more kills, generally, when his KD's better, they win the game by a bit more. But it's not an absolutely dramatic change. And if you compare this analysis to, he did the same thing for Vivid. This, for example, is Vivid's graph, which, again, this is quite significant, right? We can see a very, pretty strong positive trend, which makes sense. Maybe on an SMG, you'd expect this to be the case more so. And look, we haven't yet got this analysis for like every single player. I think that COD League Stats said that if you guys have like specific players you'd like to see this for, drop a reply and he might make it. But, so people said, all right, what about Cellium? Because Cellium's the other player that people say, right, well, he's an AR, he gets lots of kills, but there's also feelings that, well, is he really delivering the impact, right? Are those high KD games really resulting in high wins? Or is he, able to drop high KDs and they still lose potentially, which is where Awakening has arguably been for the last couple of years. You guys might remember, wasn't it Modern Warfare 2 basically last year when he went 37-13 or something for the loss on us? I don't think it was Fortress. So that was one of those maps that made people think about what's going on. And maybe there's not much to this, but I did want to show the Cellium one, which is actually, I think, right about here. So yeah, this is Cellium's numbers, for example, and this is pretty damn strong, like R squared of 0.48. Of the ones that's made so far, this is the strongest. And yeah, when he has the high KDs, they generally do win, and by more when he has the stronger KDs. Now, they still have lost games where he is significantly positive, but it is a general positive trend. So interesting to see, and I wonder really how this looks for other players in the league as well. So as I say, if you guys have any players that you'd like to see this for, maybe let COD League Stats know on that account. But we've got to dive into all of the challenges drama. I said to you guys yesterday that there was going to be some sort of issue when the update arrived, right? They put the update into the game. The feeling was, all right, it's going to break something. And yeah, here we go. Basically, yesterday, people were trying to use Codcaster to watch the games, and when anybody went in either control points, the Codcaster just breaks and becomes entirely unwatchable. So, fantastic stuff. I don't really know what they even changed in yesterday's update, to be perfectly honest. I know they gave some updates. We'll talk about some of the cheating stuff later on today, but somehow the Codcaster managed to break as well. So, it truly is spectacular stuff. And also, if you guys have been watching the CDL for the last couple of weekends, you'll notice the Coldcaster doesn't even show the hill time anymore. Like, are they going to try and fix this? Or is it like, you know what, we've had enough. Like, we don't even care anymore. Because it's quite an important thing to know. A couple of things to mention in the European side as well. This is a nice little 1v3 here that Rencor got. Just because Rencor, and this is on the 5 Media Clan Spanish team, these are a few guys that could be in consideration for the Miami Heretics, right? These guys have been struggling hard lately. We all know that to be true. And Rencor clutches a nice little 1v3 here in the Search and Destroy. So, you know, it is a thought process, really, as to what Heretics will do. There are other Spanish players out there they might need to look for, but I'm sure there's some politics in that scene. There's also this. GAs in challenges are not necessarily particularly well enforced. What do you guys think about this? So here's Cobra, who pretty, you know, ironic name maybe on this one, given what he's up to here. Is this snaking? Is this not snaking? Because the way that he does this, I think technically, according to the rules, this isn't snaking because, well, it really is, let's be honest here. But I think because he's kind of like going prone and then he's standing up again and he's kind of waiting a bit, like, I think it's very much in a kind of a grey area here, where it's not like a blatant snake, and we'll see somebody do that in a second here in the North American side, but it's more like, well, I'm going prone and I'm going to wait a second or two before I stand up again, like here. So is it snaking? I mean, I think it kind of is, but this is why the gentleman's agreement around snaking is so difficult to enforce, and you've got to wonder when things go to an important situation, Game 5, Round 11, or you're down at an important moment, is somebody going to pull out the snakes? And certainly in Challengers, that is the case. But in the North American Challenger side, this was complete madness. So as 2Real says, the game just randomly killed me. I was full health, crouched next to the car, it was already broken, and I died. So what happened is as follows. So the Houston Spartans, which was Temp's former team, of course, that he then departed ways with and joined Convoy Gaming, they went Game 5, Round 11, Invasion, Search and Destroy against each other to qualify for top 3 in the Challengers Elite North America. Now, this is 0-0 because this game had a few issues, right? There were a few issues with the replay situations and people lagging out, and we'll get into what Prolute has to say on that in a second. But this is what occurs here. Round 11, 2Real is on this car. They're on defense. They've already got the first blood, 4 versus 3. They're looking at a great spot to close out this round. Prolute then throws this grenade that doesn't explode, but I don't know exactly what happened. My feeling is that it somehow knocked the car. The grenade hit the car, and the car moved, and it killed 2Real. I don't know if that's what happened here, and I know that people have tried to replicate this, but 2Real just dies. And, like, he really shouldn't die. This guy was already exploded. It's not meant to kill you. Shotzzy tried to replicate this in custom games. I'm not sure he was able to. So, this is, like, as big of a game glitch as it gets here, right? Because, like, the nade doesn't kill him. The car just, I don't know, moves or something, and it kills him. Like, this is just a game glitch. It shouldn't be happening. And it becomes a 3 versus 3 in this situation. And then, after the 3v3, this was some drama. Here's Prolute snaking the absolute hell out of these sandbags. Now, to be fair, his form is actually kind of shocking. But, I mean, yeah, pretty obvious what my guy's up to right here. And people have talked about Prolute doing this type of stuff in the past, of course. Maybe one of the chief sound equalization users, shall we say, as well. So Prolute's just blatantly snaking that round 11, and the Houston Spartans win. GG, well done on moving forwards. And that's what we get here from Fire, who's on that team. GG's to Temp & Co. One last member in the top 3, playing for a spot in the grand finals. Dylan Rex says, you know, GG's crazy ice out of us. I thought that was funny. Crazy ice out of us. Play bottom of grand finals tomorrow. However, we then get, as Prolute says, you know, 1-3-2 round 11. Donnie Temp, though, come on, Slimeball. We got one last round to play. You know that's some cheese, right? So, of course, they were saying, look, how about we hit the replay on this? That was a ridiculous final round. Let's replay the final round of the game without that card cheese, right? And that's what Simp says. Card cheese round 11 is absurd. And I do wonder, as Jay says here in the replies, what happens if this occurs at Champs? Like, what is the ruling on this in the CDL? Because Challengers, like, look, we know the referees over there and Face It maybe don't always make the best decisions. Haggy says, if that's not a replay, I'll be mind blown. And, you know, I'd get cancelled on Twitter if this happened to me. And I think he also went on to say something in a second as well. But Shotzzy, well, let's just see this from his POV. And he tries for a few minutes really to try and figure out what exactly happens there. And, well, they can't seem to replicate it.
It kills him. But it said he killed himself. Like, what the fuck is this? What was that? Whoa. I think it was a glitch nade, bro. I think his nade... So, do you know how there's like a little lip right here? Am I mistaken? Is there a little lip right here in front of this car? I think the nade went under the...
the fuck? I feel for 2 real, dude. Damn. He's chucked. I have good tax. For Byron, where did you nade? Byron, did you nade right here?
Byron, yeah, Byron naded like at that, like he meant to skip it, but I think it went under the ground, bro.
Oh my god, I think I found it. I think I found where he naded. Yeah, we
no
go through
fucking way.
I actually think I found it. Wait, yo, Bricky. Yo, Bricky.
Right, so he naded this. Oh. Oh.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Alright, hold on. Let me...
So as Parasite goes on to say, I'd get cancelled if I tweeted what I think. FaZe continues to be incompetent at handling challenges, because initially there was no replay going on here, but eventually 2real says, yes, actually, the refs have agreed to run the replay. But Prolute, apparently in the other team, didn't want to do just one round. They were like, look, if we're going to replay it, we are going to replay from the start. And the reason why there's drama about this is because the Houston Spartans, so Prolute's team, they went up 4-1 in that final game. They had 2 players on a 5 spree, so right next to getting streaks. Then 1 or 2 players on Temp's team like lag out or disconnect basically, and there's always going to be some debate on whether they lagged out or whether there was something else going on, but whatever. They then replay the game from 4-1, but of course the players that are on the 5 sprees, they lose their 5 sprees, right? So clearly Prolute's team were frustrated with that. Eventually they bring it back to around 11 that they clutch up to win, but of course they got rather helped out substantially by that situation. So eventually they play out the replay here, and this is Shotzzy's instant reaction as it goes round 11 again. I mean, can you believe it? They replay the game, it goes round 11 again, but this time it's Donnie Temp's team that come out on top here, right? Temp actually gets first blooded here, but Yuli goes massive, gets 1, gets 2. They trade out the final 1 as well. So yeah, I think it was Dylan Rex in a 1 versus 3. They trade him out, and that's a quick little 6-5. Absolute crazy scenes here. Ridiculous series lasting late into the night, and as Temp says, to top 3 of the elite, GG's, FaZe back and Spartan Co. But Prolute, of course, not at all happy with the resolution to this. They just won the series. Half an hour later, they'd lost the series. So Prolute says this, just lost the series at 1-3-2 because they try and play out a round because they had map control, but they could have ended it, so they get 2 tries to beat me. So I think that might be another point, is that, so 2real dies to the car glitch. They potentially could have ended it then and said, all right, we want the replay. But they didn't. They played out the round. But also, whenever you end a game, this is always the risk, right? If you ever end a game, you're always running the risk that the referees just forfeit you, right? You don't really want that to be the case, to be fair. Obviously, as Prolute then goes on to say, the COD League is professionally ran. Up 4-1, I'm saying we've got 2 guys, 1 off a streak, and there is no admin in sight. Then they get 2 chances to beat me when it played out on their host. GG's, though, bunch of beasts. And he says the following, my last tweet, or we'll see if it will be the last tweet, but we're up 4-1, 2 guys, 1 off a streak. They end it because 2 of the guys who weren't even part of the play were lagging around. I'm like, yo, we've got 2 guys, 1 off. Why did they end it? The admin is missing in action. Then we get to 5-5. They're host and could end it in the situation, but instead they play it out and cry about it afterwards, get a replay somehow when they could have ended it and avoided it all. If they won that round 11, they wouldn't have said a word about replaying anything. What a joke. And that, to be fair, is a very reasonable point, right? That, you know, they get the 4v3, it becomes 3v3, they play it out. If they win, they're going to say they won, and if they lose, they're going to call for a replay. It's, you know, it's tough, but at the same time, it's tough for many of the community to have too much sympathy for Prolute because he was snaking the hell out of the head glitch, right? It has been known to be, you know, one of the cheeses really in the amateur scene over the last couple of years. So, I don't know, it's just drama on all sides, as it always is. And unfortunately, there isn't really a good solution to this whole situation, but, you know, someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. We got there in dramatic fashion. I guess my question is, if this was to occur in the CDL, what would the ruling be from the referee? So very much on Twitter your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.